Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's video, I just have to say that what I am about to share with you is probably one of the most unsettling experiences I've ever had, and I'm still trying to process everything that's happened. A few weeks ago, I made what seemed like a pretty harmless decision. I decided to record myself sleeping. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would anyone do that? Well, let me explain how this all started and why I am now genuinely afraid to watch the footage I've captured. It all began about a month ago when I started waking up feeling absolutely exhausted. I'm talking about the kind of tiredness where you feel like you haven't slept at all, even after a full 8 hours. At first, I figured it was just stressed from work or too much screen time before bed. I tried all the usual tricks, putting my phone away, drinking chamomile tea, using a sleep mask, but nothing changed. Every single morning, I'd wake up drained, sometimes with a headache. Then, I started noticing things in my room that were slightly off. My closet door would be open when I was sure I'd closed it, or my shoes would be in a different spot. One morning, I woke up with dirt on my feet, and I live on the second floor of an apartment building. That really freaked me out. There's just no logical reason for that. My girlfriend suggested that maybe I was sleepwalking, which had never crossed my mind before. But the more I thought about it, the more it seemed to fit. The exhaustion, the moved objects, the dirt, it could all point to sleepwalking. So, I decided to record myself. I set up my old laptop at the foot of my bed, angled it to capture the whole room, and hit record before I went to sleep. I honestly felt a bit silly, like I was being I expected to watch it the next day and see nothing but me, sound asleep. The first night was about 3 weeks ago. I woke up, just as tired as usual, and I checked the laptop. It had recorded successfully about 7.5 hours of footage. But this is where it gets weird. I couldn't bring myself to watch it. Something in my gut just screamed at me to wait. So I saved the file and told myself I'd watch it later. That night, I recorded myself again. And the next night. And the one after that. For 3 straight weeks, I've been recording myself every single night, and I haven't watched a single second of any of it. I now have over 20 nights of sleep recordings sitting on my hard drive, and the thought of watching them fills me with this overwhelming dread that I can't explain. The thing is, the symptoms have only gotten worse. I'm more exhausted than ever, and the strange occurrences have increased. Last week, I woke up to find my bedroom window wide open, even though it was freezing cold and I know I locked it. My girlfriend stayed over a few nights ago and said I was talking in my sleep. But when I asked what I said, she got really quiet and told me she'd rather not repeat it. That terrified me. I've also started noticing physical changes, soon explained: bruises on my arms and legs, small scratches on my hands. One morning I woke up with what looked like a handprint on my shoulder. I live alone, and my girlfriend swears she didn't grab me. I've checked for break-ins, but everything is always locked from the inside. My dreams have become incredibly vivid and disturbing. I have recurring nightmares about being watched, about something standing at the foot of my bed. When primero woke up, the details are fuzzy, but the feeling of terror sticks with me. I even get this strange sensation when I'm awake, this feeling of being watched, especially right before I fall asleep. My best friend told me I have to watch the recordings. He said knowing is better than not knowing, and he even offered to watch them with me. But I feel like this is something I need to face alone, even though the thought of it makes me physically sick. So, why am I making this video now? Honestly, it's to hold myself accountable. By telling all of you, I'm forcing myself to finally confront whatever's on those recordings. I've decided that tonight, after I upload this video, I'm going to sit down and watch at least one night's worth of footage. I need to know what's happening to me when I'm unconscious and vulnerable. Part of me is terrified I'll see myself doing something dangerous while sleepwalking. Another part is scared the footage will show nothing at all, which would just leave me with more questions. But there is also this darker fear lurking in the back of my mind. Fear that I'll see something that I just can't explain. Something that defies all logic. My relationship with sleep has completely changed. I used to look forward to it, but now I dread it. Every night, I lie there in the dark, knowing the camera is rolling, knowing that for hours I'll have no idea what's happening to me or around me. Sleep has become an enemy. What's really getting to me is the not knowing. It's like having a letter that might contain life-changing news but being too scared to open the envelope. The human brain hates uncertainty, and right now, I'm stuck in this limbo. I've made all the excuses. I'll watch it this weekend. I'll watch it after this work project. I'll watch it after I talk to a therapist, which I probably should have done weeks ago. But they're just excuses. The truth is, I'm scared. The comments are probably going to say, just watch the damn footage already. And you're right. I know you are. That's why I'm making this commitment. Publicly. Tonight, I'm going to watch the most recent recording. I'm even going to set up my phone to record my reaction, just for documentation. Depending on what I see, I might make a follow-up video, or I might keep it private. If it's something medical, I'll see a sleep specialist immediately. Safety is my top priority, and if it shows something else... Well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Living in this state of fearful uncertainty is its own kind of torture, and it has to end. Thank you all for listening. Putting this out there is a huge step for me. I'll keep you updated if I can. Wish me luck. And if you want to see what happens next, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll see you in the next one. I've started spending more time at coffee shops and libraries. Anywhere that's not my apartment. Being in public spaces during the day helps me feel more normal, more connected to reality. But eventually I have to go home. Eventually, night falls. And I have to face that bedroom again, set up that camera again, and try to sleep while knowing that something might be happening that I'm not aware of. My friends have started to notice that something is off with me, too. I've been declining invitations to hang out, canceling plans at the last minute, and when I do see people, I'm distracted and withdrawn. One of my closest friends asked me point blank if I was using drugs or having some kind of mental breakdown. I laughed it off, but her concern was genuine and probably justified. From an outside perspective, my behavior must seem erratic and worrying. The truth is, I don't know if I'm having a mental breakdown or not. I do want to know if the fear I am feeling is proportional to the situation, or if I've blown everything out of proportion in my mind. That's another reason why I need to watch these recordings. I need to know if my fear is based on something real or if it has just anxiety spiraling out of control. Either way, I need to face it. I've been reading a lot about the psychology of fear and avoidance lately. Apparently, when we avoid the things we're afraid of, the fear only grows stronger. Avoidance might provide temporary relief, but in the long run, it makes everything worse. By not watching these recordings, I'm feeding the fear, giving it power over me. The longer I wait, the more terrifying the footage becomes in my imagination, regardless of what it actually shows. There's also this phenomenon called anticipatory anxiety, where the fear of something happening is actually worse than the thing itself. I might be experiencing more distress right now, in this state of not knowing, than I would if I just watched the footage and dealt with whatever consequences come from that. My mind has probably imagined scenarios that are far worse than anything that could actually be on those recordings, but knowing all of this intellectually doesn't make it easier emotionally. Fear isn't rational. You can understand all the psychology behind it and still feel paralyzed by it. That's where I am right now, caught between what I know I should do and what I'm capable of doing. Making this video is my attempt to bridge that gap, to use public accountability to push myself past this mental block. I want to talk about the physical toll this has taken on me as well. Beyond the exhaustion, I've lost weight because my appetite has disappeared. Food just doesn't appeal to me anymore. I've developed this nervous habit of checking and rechecking, things making sure doors are locked, windows are closed, objects are in their proper places. I'll check the same lock 3 or 4 times before I can convince myself that it is actually secure. I know this is probably the beginning of some kind of obsessive-compulsive behavior, but I can't seem to stop myself. My hands shake sometimes, especially in the evening when I know I'll have to set up the camera soon. I've had a few panic attacks, though I've managed to hide them from my girlfriend and friends. There's this tightness in my chest that never quite goes away. This feeling of impending doom that colors everything I do. I wake up multiple times during the night now. Sometimes from nightmares. Sometimes from that feeling of being watched. Sometimes for no reason at all. The irony isn't lost on me that by trying to investigate my sleep problems, I've made them exponentially worse. If I had just ignored the initial symptoms, maybe they would have resolved on their own. Maybe I would have adjusted to whatever was happening and life would have continued normally. Instead, I've created this situation where I'm more sleep-deprived and anxious than ever before, and I have hours of footage that might or might not provide any answers. I've also been thinking about what I'll do after I watch the recordings. Let's say I watch them and see myself sleepwalking. Then what? I make an appointment with a sleep specialist. Sure, but that could take weeks or months, depending on availability. In the meantime, do I keep recording? Do I take precautions to keep myself safe? Do I tell my girlfriend everything and ask her to stay with me every night? And what if the sleepwalking is severe? What if I'm doing things that are dangerous to myself or potentially others? Or let's say I watch the footage and see nothing unusual. I'm just sleeping peacefully through the night with no movement, no disturbances, nothing that would explain the exhaustion or the strange occurrences in my room. That might actually be worse, because it would mean I have to look for other explanations. Carbon monoxide poisoning, neurological issues, some kind of dissociative disorder. The possibilities are endless, and most of them are frightening. And then there's the worst case scenario, the one I try not to think about, but that keeps creeping into my mind late at night. What if the footage shows something that I can't explain at all? What if there's something on those recordings that defies everything I understand about the world? I don't believe in the paranormal. I really don't. But what if I'm forced to reconsider that position? What would that do to my sense of reality? To my understanding of how the world works? I've watched enough horror movies and read enough creepy stories online to know the tropes. A person records themselves sleeping, discovers something terrifying on the footage, and their life is never the same. I always thought those stories were ridiculous, that anyone in that situation would just watch the footage immediately and deal with whatever they found. But now I understand. Now I'm living it. It's easy to judge someone's choices when you're not the one facing them. My girlfriend has been my rock through all of this, even though I haven't told her the full extent of what I'm experiencing. She knows I've been recording myself sleeping. She knows I'm stressed and not sleeping well. But I haven't told her about the depth of my fear, or about how many nights of footage I have stockpiled without watching. I'm afraid she'd think I'm being ridiculous, or that I need professional help. Maybe I do need professional help. Maybe that's another thing I need to accept. I've considered just deleting all the footage without watching it, wiping the hard drive clean and pretending this whole thing never happened. Stop recording. Try to get back to normal life, and hope that whatever is causing these symptoms resolves itself over time. But I know I can't do that. I've come too far, invested too much emotional energy into this situation. The not knowing would haunt me forever. I'd always wonder what was on those recordings, what I might have discovered if I'd just been brave enough to look. There's also a part of me that's curious, despite the fear. I want to know what I look like when I'm sleeping, how my body moves or doesn't move throughout the night. I want to see if there are patterns to the disturbances, if they happen at specific times or under certain conditions. If I can approach this scientifically, treating it as data collection rather than a source of fear, maybe that will make it easier to watch. So I've created a plan for tonight. I'm going to finish this video, upload it, and then I'm going to prepare myself mentally. I'll make some food, even though I'm not hungry, because I need to maintain my strength. I'll take a shower, put on comfortable clothes, and set up my workspace so it feels safe and contained. I'll have my phone nearby in case I need to call someone. And then I'll open the most recent recording and watch it from start to finish. I'm not going to fast forward or skip through sections. I'm going to watch it at normal speed, paying attention to everything. I'll take notes if necessary, document any unusual occurrences, and try to remain as objective as possible. If I see something disturbing, I'll pause, collect myself, and continue. I will not let fear win. I will not let this control me anymore. Whatever I discover tonight will determine my next steps. If it's medical, I'll seek medical help. If it's environmental, I'll address the environment. If it's psychological, I'll see a therapist. And if it's something I can't explain, well, I'll figure that out when I get there. But the key is that I'll know. I'll have information instead of speculation, facts instead of fears. I want to thank everyone who has made it this far in this video. I know it's been long and probably rambling at times, but I needed to get all of this out. I needed to articulate what I've been going through, partly for you, but mostly for myself. Speaking these fears out loud, or in this case, recording them, makes them feel more manageable somehow. It transforms them from these nebulous, overwhelming emotions into concrete words that can be examined and addressed. To anyone watching this who has ever dealt with severe anxiety or fear, I see you. I understand now what it's like to be paralyzed by something that might seem trivial to others. Fear is deeply personal, and it doesn't always make logical sense. But we have to face it anyway. We have to keep moving forward even when every instinct is telling us to run away or hide. So here I am, making this commitment to all of you and to myself. Tonight, I watch the footage. Tonight, I face whatever's on those recordings. And tomorrow, or maybe in a few days, I'll make another video telling you what I found. Or maybe I won't make another video at all. Maybe what I discover will be so mundane that there's nothing to report. Or maybe it will be so personal that I can't share it. But either way, this chapter of my life, this period of fear and uncertainty, will be over. The sun is starting to set outside my window as I record this. In a few hours, it will be dark, and that's when I'll do it. That's when I'll finally click play on that video file and see what has been happening to me during those lost hours of the night. My hands are shaking as I think about it, but there's also a sense of relief. After weeks of avoidance, I'm finally going to know. Whatever happens next, whatever I discover, I'll deal with it. Humans are remarkably resilient creatures. We adapt, we cope, we find ways to survive even in the most challenging circumstances. This is just another challenge, another obstacle to overcome. And on the other side of this fear, there's knowledge and, hopefully, peace. Thank you for being here with me on this journey. Thank you for listening and for caring enough to watch this entire video. Your support, even if it's just passive viewing, means more to me than you know. Wish me luck. Send good thoughts. I'm going to need all the positive energy I can get for what comes next. This is it. This is the moment where I stop running and start facing my fears. I'll see you on the other side, whatever that looks like. Thanks for watching.